All right, folks, Miss USA, Urbani Gabriel is celebrating this week after winning Saturday's Miss Universe pageant, but that's not what everybody's been talking about today. The new trans owner of the pageant raises some eyebrows after this speech. Look and listen to this.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women. For all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
All right, folks, and for this panel, we have an all-female panel. We've got host of Money Talk with Melanie, Melanie Collette, and Newsmax correspondent Christina Thompson. And I have decided for this panel to identify as a woman. So, Christina, I wanted to start with you. I'm going to add, what would that, alternating. I'm going to do it several times a day, decide whether I'm a woman or a man. Christina, you're formerly a Miss Virginia. So you would have been in the pageant that would lead to this. Your thoughts about what you see going on here?
Right, yeah, so I competed for Miss USA, which is the pageant that does lead into Miss Universe. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could approach this topic. I think that with pageants, it is a little bit different than a competitive sport like, say, swimming, where Leah Thomas is definitely taking away wins from biologically born women. I actually, my year, competed with the first transgender woman at Miss USA. And now Miss Universe is owned by a transgender woman. They're saying the first woman to own the pageant. It's a tough situation, right? Because society is progressing together. We're constantly changing. The only thing is that when I think that if it takes away wins from biological women or hurts women in any way, that's when it becomes an issue. So I think that it is important to mention and point out that it is different from sports where, muscles or physical fitness are involved. Yeah.
So also joined by former Miss USA contestant, Carrie Prejean Bowler. Carrie, your thoughts as you see what strikes me is Miss Universe, all the pageants had usually had a traditional approach, and it seems that everything's going woke now. Even what she said, do we have that, what she ended up saying in her interview question? Do we have that? Okay, let's listen to it.
Well, I would use it to be a transformational leader. As a very passionate designer, been sewing for 13 years, I use fashion as a force for good. In my industry, I'm cutting down on pollution through recycled materials when I make my clothing. I teach sewing classes to women that have survived from human trafficking and domestic violence. And I say that because it is so important to invest in others.
You get the point. Very woke, Carrie. That's kind of changed. Your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think, thank you so much for having me. What we are seeing in real time is a war on women, period, end of story. We are seeing a total mockery and gender appropriation of women that needs to stop. That man that paraded around with his fake breasts and lipstick on and fake hair and fake eyelashes, he's not a woman. He never will be a woman. And I find it very offensive as a real woman, which is pretty pathetic that I even have to say those words, real woman. It's very offensive that he's parading around pretending to be a woman when he will never be a woman.
Yeah. Melanie, your thoughts here?
I feel like I've said this before, and again, I went to WebMD to make sure that the definition had not changed, but it describes transgender people as people who feel like they are different than the gender of their biological body. And so, and when they examine them medically, they go by what they were born as. And from a philosophical perspective, it assumes that all there is to being a woman is aesthetic, and it just isn't. And that is what is so very bothersome about this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're competing against, how well someone did your plastic surgery, and that doesn't seem okay.
Right. I wish we had longer to talk. Maybe we can do this again soon. Carrie, Melanie, Christina, thank you so much for talking about it. I think there's a lot going on because it seems to be changing. And even the answer from the girl that ended up winning, she handled herself very well. But man, you couldn't have written a script that was more woke. And so that's where we're going with this. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you.